Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Sunday evening, October 12, 2025. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you all like this video. I'd really appreciate it if you all get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives and your near church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you all utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comment section but the video description, so that you can skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because we know that the videos over here with the Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the that's been like in your area recently. Also feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Taking a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook that just came out at 7:34 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:34 p.m. Jamaica time, we can see that we still have that tropical wave or that broad airflow pressure across the main development region that now has a high chance of development within the next 7 days as it pushes off towards the northwest and then eventually towards the north. And if we take a look at the infrared, we can see the clouds, the showers, and the thunderstorms associated with the tropical wave or the broad airflow pressure right here to the southwest of the Cabo Verde Island. And we know that the next name on the list that it could acquire, that is it actually develops into a tropical depression or storm. The next name on the list after Karen is Lorenzo. Taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see broken orange lines right here to the northeast of the Caribbean associated with a trough, another trough right here to the south of that trough, that strong tropical wave that has an airflow pressure attached to it. We see the L, and we see a frontal system right here extending from the northern portion of the North Atlantic all the way down, and we see another frontal system over here extending into the western portion of Cuba. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before we lost sunlight, we can make out all of these entities. First of all, we have what's left of tropical storm Jerry right here spinning away and pushing northward. We can see the clouds associated with the frontal system, the line of clouds right here. We can also see the clouds associated with the tropical wave, and we can even see some spin down in there underneath these high level clouds as well, pushing northward. We can also see the clouds associated with that trough right in here. You can see the other trough right down in here. And we still have a lot of clouds associated with the trough that has been affecting Jamaica that was interacting with that tropical wave. Look at all of this moisture from the south of Hispaniola, south of Jamaica, in and around central to eastern Cuba. We have a lot of moisture still to come. And we can make out the clouds associated with that frontal system right here across portions of Florida into northwestern Cuba. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Sunday, October 12, 2025. It was stated that rainfall could have been in the forecast for the island last night, so Saturday night into Sunday, and it was predicted especially for Sunday afternoon across sections of some eastern, central and western parishes. And we know that eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston and St. Andrew. Central parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex, like St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon and St. Catherine. While western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth. And given that it was more of a southerly flow across the island, we know that would have gotten in on the showers across section of southern Jamaica first, then the activity pushing into section of some northern parishes for sure. Southern parishes, we're talking about Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Thomas. While northern parishes, we're talking about those parishes on top, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. And what ended up happening As early as 12:05 a.m., so a little after midnight last night, the infrared satellite imagery was posted highlighting clouds bringing overcast skies, if not isolated or scattered thundershowers across sections of the island. And that was what took place last night into early this morning. We even highlighted the Jamaican Doppler radar at around 5:49 a.m. showing the greens into the yellows into the gold. That represents the light to moderate, even some heavy rainfall pushing from south to north across the island, first across the southern parishes, spilling into second of some northern parishes. Then another post was made at around 1:05 p.m. on Sunday, highlighting the low level flow of the clouds pushing in from the south, bringing some overcast skies, if not some isolated thundershowers. And we know that it's isolated thundershowers because we see the sparkling yellow that's in there that represents the lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. And then once again, another post was made at around 5:25 p.m. showing the blues, greens, yellows, oranges, reds, that cumulonimbus activity. And we see the sparkling white that's in there that represents some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. And if we take a look back at the actual visible satellite images of Jamaica before we lost sunlight, we can make out that low level flow of the clouds. Look at the clouds pushing in from south to north, across the west, across the central, across the eastern end of the island. More of that thunderstorm activity, especially across the central and western parishes for sure. And the infrared showing all of where we had the lightning, all of the sparkling white dots here that represents some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes, especially across section of St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew. We also had some thunderstorm activity pushing out of Hanover and St. James, pushing northward. Look at that deep convection to the north of St. James. That was crazy. And we also have the infrared showing all of this, all of the rainfall underneath all of these clouds, all of these greens into the yellows, into the gold. That represents the light to moderate, even some heavy rainfall pushing northward. And as you can see, there's still a lot more rainfall to come. Look at these heavy rain bands to the south of the island, setting the stage for some more rainfall tonight, Sunday night, into Monday morning. So we're still going to be getting on some more rainfall as we head into Monday for sure. And we definitely have the live camera right here from C Jamaica's YouTube channel, confirming that we had a rainfall around the Rio Cobra area today. Flat bridge showing that moderate rainfall, soaking wet for sure. The Rio Cobra definitely even changed color to more of a murky, muddy kind of look, to indicate that we've definitely been getting some rainfall upstream. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit C Jamaica on YouTube. They have these live streams all for you all to view for free. So subscribe today to this channel so that you don't miss out. That's C Jamaica on YouTube. Taking a look at the total accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the CIMH, that's the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website. This map does indeed paint quite the picture, for we had that rainfall today coming in from the south, pushing into the northern portion of the island. So we definitely had that rainfall across sections of most parishes. Not everywhere got rainfall, just some isolated or scattered spots for sure. And we definitely have some of the comments from some of our followers that came in confirming what the weather was like in their area for the past 24 hours from last night up to this point. We have Shani on our X page sitting some zing and zap and boom boom in Twickenham Park. I love it. That was posted 38 minutes ago. We also have Kimberly posting 45 minutes ago. Lots of loud thunder, heavy rain on and off in Portmore. Donwell stating a lot of rain in Kingston 20 since last night, posted 40 minutes ago. Best Genius, it almost break the glass window. That's crazy lightning. We have Frat stating it is raining in Spanish Town, lightning and thunder. Even on our YouTube, we had some comments coming in. Lawrence Davidson stating light rain and thunder in Montego Bay all evening. We also have Active 4081 stating more rain tonight. Yes, there will definitely be more rain tonight. Even on our Facebook page, we had the comments coming in. Tanra Lee stating heavy thunderstorms in St. Elizabeth, Othniel. It's raining hard in Kingston along with thunder and lightning. Bobby Luscious stating it's raining here in Kingston. Vijay raining in Lynn. We also have Rudy's Sport Bar stating rain like crazy in Manchester. And if you notice the times, 15 hours ago, so that's more than likely the early morning rainfall. Now we're looking at the 6 to 12 hours ago, so more than likely this morning when the sun came up, kind of rainfall. From Stephanie, she's stating that's true, we had rain all night last night. Now the sky is partially overcast. Rain. We have Painter King stating rain all night in the grill. George stating St. Elizabeth, it was raining 10 minutes ago. Othniel stating rain falling in Kingston. La Mesa stating raining in Kingston from last night. We have Nikisha posting 1 hour ago stating on the eastern side of Portland not receiving rainfall. Boy, I feel a pain. We have Naiki stating raining in Maple and Clarendon. Ishamar stating St. Elizabeth is sunny at this time. That was 5 hours ago. We also have Kiki stating we welcome it in Portmore, posted 46 minutes ago. Sherry walk in favor, Stewart stating thunderstorm in Clarendon, posted 49 minutes ago. Butterscotch Morgan stating rain in Spain, loss of thunder, posted 1 hour ago. Georgia Williamson, rain in Portmore 1 hour ago. Nadine Jones, rain in St. Elizabeth 57 minutes ago. Land stating rain in Old Harbor, that was posted 59 minutes ago. And Latoya stating rain in southeastern St. Elizabeth, this was posted 46 minutes ago. And we even have some comments that came in on our Instagram page. Alex the Motivator posted 17 hours ago, so this is the early morning rainfall for sure. Raining in Kingston right now. We have Sheen Salmon stating it was terrifying, posted 13 hours ago. We have King Konta posted 1 hour ago stating love it in St. Elizabeth. Candy underscore good stating I just love the weather. We also have Fleek underscore Jamaica stating rain on and off in Mountain View from morning till now. Unbothered Zana stating yep, it's raining, posted 4 hours ago. Aisha stating curled up in my bed watching a movie and enjoying the weather, posted 3 minutes ago. Smith's Sam, of course, posted 18 minutes ago about how is the weather. Amazing. So I'm sure he is getting some nice rainfall. We have Ann Queechin saying light gone now, caused by hell of a lightning and thunder, Portmore 30 minutes ago. We have Sassy La Hermosa saying raining in Clarendon, unstable though. We even had some comments that came in on our TikTok page. 466 Big Stice stating it's raining in Litchfield, Trelawney right now. Maxine stating Westmoreland, what's happening in Westmoreland? We have Tipsy stating Hanover raining. Don Dada stating Linstead overcast at the moment. The Feminine Jadika stating it's raining in Kingston. We also have Gaza Thugs stating lightning last night. Maeve 7601 stating rain all night with lightning and thunder in Manchester. Unavailable stating whenever I see green lightning. That's crazy. Did you see green lightning? We have Alison Dunkley stating St. Elizabeth rain fall right now. We also have some more comments here. Shan7722 stating raining in Clarendon, Stormlight, rain in Kingston, Veronica, Manchester having heavy rain from last night, and Sandra stating rain in Kingston. Thank you all for confirming what the weather is like in your area the past 24 hours. Alright, so we're about to reload the very latest still image from the Weather Nerds website, the latest Jamaican Doppler radar image, the latest Cuban Doppler radar image, the latest Guantanamo Bay US Naval radar image, and the latest Cayman radar imagery. We want to see exactly what's taking place right now across the island. Alright, so the latest still image from the Weather Nerds website is showing 23:45 UTC, which is actually 6:45 p.m. So this just came out 10 minutes ago, considering that it is 6:55 p.m. right now. And as you can see, we still have some clouds across section of the island. So Hanover, St. James covered with clouds, so too Clarendon, Manchester into southeast St. Elizabeth, section of St. Catherine and St. Andrew. Southern Clarendon getting on some thunderstorms, as you can see here. So to southern St. or southeastern St. Elizabeth, southern Manchester getting on some thunderstorms as we speak. And we know that we can have cloud cover over an area and not necessarily be getting rainfall. So let's look at the actual latest Jamaican Doppler radar image to see. And the latest Jamaican Doppler radar is showing 23:35Z, which is actually 6:35 p.m. So that just came out 5, 10, 15, 20, 21 minutes ago, considering that it's 6:56 p.m. right now. And this is the latest image showing that rainfall in the greens into the yellows represents that light to moderate, even some heavy rainfall across sections of western Hanover, western Westmoreland, section of northwestern St. Elizabeth, St. James, section of southeastern St. Elizabeth, southwestern Manchester, section of northern Manchester, southern Clarendon, St. Catherine, some rain bands right here across northern St. Andrew into southeastern St. Anne. We also see some rain bands right here on the border of St. Anne and Trelawney right there. And you can also see that there's still a lot more moisture to the south of us, and we know that all of this is pushing northward into southern Jamaica, so we still have a lot more rainfall to get tonight into tomorrow, all courtesy of this trough interacting with the tropical wave. And the Cuban Doppler radar is definitely showing the same thing. This is showing up to 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 6:50 p.m. Jamaica time. So this is very up to date. It is showing 7 minutes ago, considering that it is 6:57 right now. And as you can see, all of the rain bands right here to the south of us still pushing northward into section of southern Jamaica. You also see a lot of rainfall pushing into central to southeastern Cuba as well. It's going to be a wet night tonight into Monday for sure. But will it be crazy enough to prevent some of us from going to work or school? We'll see it actually plays out. And my bet is that we wake up to sunshine, forcing us to go to work or school, and then, you know, later on the rainfall comes in. But let's see how it plays out. Ensure that you walk with your umbrella for sure. And even the Guantanamo Bay U.S. Naval radar imagery is showing that rainfall pushing from south to north, especially right here to the east of Jamaica between Haiti. We see it pushing northward as well. And the Cayman radar, I'm sure, is going to be showing the same thing. Look at the moisture pushing from south to north, more so southwest to northeast. That has been the flow across the Cayman Islands, more for southwesterly kind of flow pushing into central Cuba. And we see that rainfall across western Jamaica as well. And if we take a look at what's taking place right now, the live camera right here from See Jamaica's YouTube channel, showing what's taking place around downtown Kingston. We see the West Parade live camera right here. People walking about, going about their business. Nothing in the way of bad weather taking place. But as you can see, the road is soaking wet, and there's a lot more rainfall to come tonight into tomorrow. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we're at 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 25 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and by about 4 a.m. on Monday, temperature should dip down to about 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is valid for 18Z on Monday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Monday, and we can see Jamaica right here embedded in the grays. That represents average temperatures, that's 0. I know that the average temperature for the month of October across Jamaica is around 89 degrees Fahrenheit, and when that's converted to degrees Celsius that we use here in Jamaica, that's around 31.6 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving that for Jamaica's temperature on Monday, 31.6 degrees Celsius. And we're also grateful that we don't see any maintenance outage advisories here from my JPS online Twitter page I have to highlight, because you know that we usually have to highlight these because we know that when we have power outages somewhere across the island, it can definitely make the heat feel even worse because we don't have our fan or our AC to cool us down. So we're grateful that for Monday, October 13, we don't have any outages to worry about. But if tomorrow is going to be a bit too hot for you, we have some tips right here to beat the heat as usual. It states here, seek shade when outside. Eat fresh, try eating cold foods such as salads and fruit. Rest, make sure you get enough sleep, and rest if you're feeling tired. Soak, take a cool shower or a bath to help you cool down. And I cannot stress enough the importance of staying hydrated throughout the day. Drink lots of water even if you're not thirsty, and put away those sugar drinks and drink water instead. Taking a look at the dry air map, we can see that the dry air has definitely dwindled down. We know that the dry air is represented by what we see here on the key on the bottom. That's the yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the whites. Within those reds, we see a lot of dry air off the east coast of the US into the Gulf. We also see a lot of dry air extending from Africa across portions of the northern Mandeville region to portions of the eastern Caribbean. We know that the dry air is responsible for keeping the atmosphere stable, making it harder for it to rain. And we like the fact that we're seeing more blues across the Atlantic, the southwestern Atlantic, the Caribbean, a lot more blues in and around Central America, the southern to the eastern Mandeville region, a lot more moist air, and that's what we want to see more of, more moist air, because wherever we have the moist air, that's where we have more of the clouds and the grays, and wherever we have the clouds, that's where we have more of the rainfall to cool down our temperatures and keep water in our pipes. Regarding the Saharan dust forecast for the next 3 days, so we're heading into October 13, October 14, and October 15. And as you can see right here, Jamaica should be in the clear for the next 3 days, even though we have some Saharan dust that should be passing just, or it looks like it's stationary just to the north of the eastern Caribbean, and we're grateful. Look at that, even starting to push out at the end of it all towards the northeast, and we're grateful for that because we know that the Saharan dust can cause hazy skies, not to mention trigger respiratory illnesses such as asthma or sinusitis in some persons. So we're grateful that this is the forecast that the Saharan dust maps are showing. Not much in the way of dust for us at all. Regarding the wave forecast for tomorrow, still seeing the lowest waves across the Gulf into the Caribbean. That's light shades of blues to blues that represents anywhere from 0.5 of a meter wave height to 1 meter wave height, and that's because of the winds that we see. We see the blues into the slight greens that represents anywhere from 5 to 10 to even at least 15 knots. We see more of a northeasterly flow across the northeastern Gulf. We see more of an easterly flow across the eastern to the central Caribbean. More of a southeasterly flow, so we're losing that southerly flow tomorrow. Still gonna be getting another southeasterly flow, and the southeasterly flows can definitely bring us some rainfall as well. And if we take a look at the actual wave forecast for Jamaica tomorrow, 0.6 of a meter wave height to the north of Portland, 0.3 of a meter wave height to the north of St. Anne, 0.4 of a meter wave height to the north of Hanover, to the north of Westmoreland, 0.5 of a meter wave height expected, to the north of Clarendon, well, to the south of Clarendon, 0.7 of a meter wave height expected, well, to the south of St. Thomas, 0.7 of a meter wave height expected. And that's because of the winds that are expected tomorrow. We see definitely more of a southeasterly, if not a southeasterly kind of low to mid-level flow across the island. So anything that comes off of the sea from the south coast should continue to push into some southern parishes: Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Thomas, and maybe eventually the north coast. And we definitely see that the least amount of winds are going to be across the north again. So some daytime heating, low-level clouds can definitely become mid-level rain clouds, if not upper-level cumulonimbus clouds, especially across Hanover into St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, maybe even sections of St. Mary getting on the daytime heating convection. And the upper-level winds are changing. The upper-level winds are no longer coming in from the south tomorrow, just as the low to mid-level flow was going. Tomorrow the upper level winds seem to be coming in more so from the east. So interesting, if we actually get some thunderstorms to form within the next 24 hours, these cloud tops in the blues, greens, yellows, oranges, and reds will be pushed off towards the west, definitely bringing some overcast skies somewhere to sections of the western parishes. And if we take a look at the actual rainfall forecast maps now, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 3 a.m. Jamaica time, and we're seeing the moisture surrounding the island on the Euro for sure to indicate that we're definitely in for some more early morning rainfall. The GFS showing rainfall to the west of us, to the south of us, across sections of central Jamaica, so we have some contrast a bit. We don't see that crazy rain band to the east of us like what the Euro was showing. Don't see it on the GFS, but that doesn't mean that we can't get rainfall tomorrow for sure. We see the blue south of us, and we know that we have a southeasterly or a southeasterly flow, so more than likely some early morning rainfall for us. Or it might not even happen, we'll see. Regarding what's taking place at around 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 9 a.m. Jamaica time, we still see the blues represent rainfall on the Euro across some southern and western parishes, the eastern parishes as well. The GFS showing something similar, morning rainfall. That's some crazy morning rainfall for sure. Look at this: Hanover, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, sections of Kingston, St. Thomas, Eastern Portland, Western St. Mary, St. Anne, Trelawney, St. James. Very, very interesting. Skipping ahead now to about 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this is 11 a.m. Jamaica time. Still seeing moisture across the eastern end to the western end on the Euro. The GFS showing something similar. Tomorrow is going to be a very wet day for sure. If this actually verifies, we're in for some isolated flash flooding for sure across the island. And then by around 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time now, which is actually 3 p.m. Jamaica time, we see that the blues are definitely lessening in the intensity. We saw darker blues earlier and even some greens, but we see that it is still across the eastern end to the western end, but definitely less on the Euro. The GFS still has a lot of it across the eastern to the western end. We'll see it actually plays out. And then finally by around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's actually 8 p.m. Jamaica time, so we're heading into the evening. The Euro still having Jamaica surrounded by rainfall. The GFS showing rainfall, yes, surrounding us, but more so across the northern parishes. We'll see it actually plays out. And even the total accumulated precipitation forecast maps are in agreement that it's going to be raining somewhere in Jamaica within the next 24 hours. Both maps right here from the Euro and the GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Monday. And we see the greens into the yellows into the oranges and reds. That represents what we see here on the key on the right. That's the 0.1 of an inch of rainfall up to at least 1 inch of rainfall. We see 1.04 inches of rainfall right here across Trelawney, St. Anne border. We see that across St. Elizabeth as well on the Euro. The GFS showing something similar with the very same spot. So there could definitely be a lot of rainfall within the next 24 hours, and some isolated flash flooding is not out of the question. You even see some purples to the west of us. Who knows, some of that could even come into the western end. And whatever happens, we'll definitely take it, because we're in the month of October and we should be getting this rainfall. In St. Mary, we usually receive 172 millimeters of rainfall this month. That's about the same as 6.8 inches of rainfall. While in St. Andrew, we usually receive 196 millimeters of rainfall this month. That is about the same as 7.7 inches of rainfall. And if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives in terms of rainfall for the month of October, you can visit nomadseason.com, and that website will show you that information. Alright, so we're going to be looking at what the next 7 days have in store for us according to the latest Euro and GFS supercomputer model runs that came out today. So keep your eyes focused on the timestamp right here at the top as we go to the next 168 hours. That stands for the next 7 days. Keep your eyes focused on Jamaica right here as we look for all of this that we see on the key on the right. That's the reds, the oranges, the yellows, and the greens represents inches of rainfall. So let's see what's going to be taking place. Alright, so as you can see here, we're looking at 12Z on Tuesday, which is actually 7 a.m. and we see that not much of anything is affecting Jamaica at that time, but we still have some moisture to the northwest of us on the Euro. Then on Tuesday afternoon, we're seeing rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes. What does the GFS show? Do we have agreement? Tuesday morning, a lot of rainfall to our west. Even have an isobar around an area of low pressure. Interesting. Don't see much for Tuesday morning across Jamaica though. But by Tuesday afternoon, we're seeing that rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes, like what the Euro was showing. What do we see on Wednesday morning? Wednesday morning, we're seeing some isolated shores surrounding the island. Then on Wednesday afternoon, we're seeing rainfall across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes. Do we have the same being shown on the GFS? GFS showing rainfall to the west of us. Then on Wednesday afternoon, we're seeing rainfall across sections of some eastern and northern parishes. What do we see on Thursday morning? Thursday morning, not really seeing much of anything. Thursday afternoon, we're seeing rainfall across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes. What does the GFS show? On Thursday morning, rainfall across some southern parishes. Thursday afternoon, we're seeing rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes. It looks like this week is going to be quite a wet week for sure. What do we see on Friday morning? Friday morning, we're seeing rainfall across the island for sure, especially to the north of us. Some rainfall across the southern parishes on the Euro. Then on Friday afternoon, rainfall across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes. What does the GFS show? Friday morning, rainfall across the southern parishes, almost all parishes. Then on Friday afternoon, we're seeing rainfall across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes. Very interesting week. What do we see on Saturday morning? We're seeing rainfall across the eastern end, rainfall across the southern parishes. Then on Saturday afternoon, rainfall across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes. And we're going to be stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours. So this is valid for Sunday, October 19, and we're still seeing a lot of moisture in and around Jamaica at that time. What does the GFS show? On Saturday morning, rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes. Saturday afternoon, rainfall across mainly central and western parishes. Then we're going to be stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours as well. So this is valid for Sunday, October 19, and we're seeing the moisture across sections of the island for sure, something in line with what the Euro was showing. Very interesting week ahead for sure in terms of rainfall, and whatever happens, we'll definitely take it. And if we take a look at the total accumulated precipitation for the next 7 days, both maps right here from the Euro and the GFS are in agreement that within the next 7 days we should be getting on some good rainfall in and around the Greater Antilles, wherever we have the dark reds into the purples into the pinks. That's some anywhere from 2 all the way up to maybe 5 inches of rainfall, and we see some of that into portion of Central America and Northern South America as well. So there could definitely be some isolated flash flooding in those areas, and we see that it's both the Euro and the GFS models that are in agreement with that forecast for sure. So the chances are higher for it to actually take place, while other areas that are shaded in the reds into the yellows, oranges, greens, that's up to 1 inch of rainfall or less. So we're talking about the lesser Antilles portion of the Yucatan for sure. Regarding Jamaica's rainfall totals for the next 7 days, both maps right here from the Euro and the GFS are also showing other rainfall that's expected from now up until Sunday, October 19, and we can clearly see the Euro. Well, the Euro right here showing Jamaica shaded in the greens, yellows, oranges, even some slight pinks in some isolated spots here. that represent anywhere from 15 millimeters of rainfall up to at least 80 millimeters of rainfall. The GFS a bit more robust. This is the craziest signal I've seen for the past 6 months from the GFS regarding the 7-day rainfall totals. So it's a bit concerning. There could definitely be some flash flooding if this actually takes place over the next 7 days. Look at the yellows, oranges, pinks, even some reds. They represent anywhere from 30 all the way up to, we see the total right here to the south of us. So some of that could meander on land. That's 151 millimeters of rainfall. That's some crazy rainfall if that actually verifies for sure. So there could definitely be some flash flooding in store for us over the next 7 days. Whatever happens, I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. Taking a look at what's taking place across the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have some moisture associated with trough pushing through from east to west to the south of Hispaniola. Trough interacting with the tropical wave still bringing us moisture across Jamaica into Cuba. We also see that area of low pressure, that strong tropical wave spinning away, trying to become Lorenzo. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar image near Puerto Rico, let's see what's taking place. We see some hit or miss isolated light to moderate rainfall in and around Puerto Rico, east and west of Guadeloupe, Dominica, east of Antigua and Barbuda for sure. And if we load these images from earlier today, we saw where we had some rainfall across second of central and western Puerto Rico for sure, some decent rainfall at that. And if we take a look at the Barbados radar, we can see that rainfall pushing from east to west, especially some decent moderate to heavy rain bands to the south of there, pushing towards the Grenadines and Grenada, pushing towards Tobago right here. Some rain bands already affecting sections of Dominica and Martinique as well as southeastern St. Lucia. And regarding the weather wave Doppler radar images, we can see a lot of that rainfall pushing from southwest to northeast into the Cayman Islands, central to southeastern Cuba. We can also see some rain bands right here across section of eastern Nicaragua as well, the eastern Caribbean. And regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, both maps right here from the Euro and the GFS are showing that within the next 24 hours, anywhere that's shaded in the dark reds, into the pinks, the purples, you know, that's 2 to maybe 3, maybe 4 inches of rainfall for portion of the Bahamas, Cuba, section of the Cayman Islands, so too section of Jamaica, so too section of Honduras into northern Nicaragua. We also see the greens into the yellows into the oranges and the slight rise that represents from 0.1 of an inch of rainfall up to 1 inch of rainfall expected for portions of southern Florida, Guatemala, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, Venezuela, sections of Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, sections of Martinique, Dominica, Guadeloupe, Anguilla, Montserrat, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Barth, St. Kitts and Nevis, Martinique, the Ocean British Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Haiti, Dominican Republic, section of the Turks and Caicos getting on some of that, so too the Cayman Islands, Cuba into the Bahamas for sure. And we clearly see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in agreement with that, and we know that when they're in agreement like this, the chances are higher for it to actually take place over the next 24 hours. Alright, so regarding what's taking place across the Eastern Pacific, no longer have any tropical systems with any names, but we do have a code yellow right here, something that has a low chance of development right here within the next 7 days, just to the south of Mexico. And if we take a look at the infrared, we can see the clouds, showers and thunderstorms associated with the entity over here. Nothing really organized right now. We also see the leftovers of, I believe that's Raymond, pushing into north central Mexico. And we know that if something should get another name right here, the next name on the list after Raymond is Sonia. Regarding what's happening on the Western Pacific and the Indian Ocean, we see nothing across the Indian Ocean, but we have a code yellow right here to the far east of the Philippines, something that has a low chance of development within the next 7 days. And to the south of Japan, we're still watching Typhoon Nakri. And regarding the latest here on Typhoon Nakri, it is now packing 70 knot wind, so it's up there in terms of the tropical, in terms of the hurricane status. It's a category 1 hurricane right now, low end category 1. It's expected to maintain that category 1 status as it pushes off towards the northeast, the east northeast eventually, and shoots out of there quickly. Maybe just some outer bands going to be affecting mainland Japan, but definitely the smaller islands of Japan just to the south of Tokyo definitely going to be getting on the brunt of this system, because we see how huge it is. We see the outer bands already stretching into mainland Japan, but clearly the smaller islands are going to be getting on the brunt of the core of the system. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.